if everyone would be drinking the way my friends and I do, then it would be a whole bunch of drunks, but...
Alcohol has been socially accepted for hundreds of years. Teenage drinking has also been around for a while, but no one seems to have a definite answer to this behavior. Most teenagers agree that alcohol can have damaging effects, but why is it still going on? Does it give them a sense of infantile satisfaction? Is it because it seems acceptable to be curious and break the rules? Is it part of these developmental years? Is it a question of being a part of a group? Is it because there is insufficient education for the teenagers? As a thorough research was conducted, we handpicked the main resources about alcohol that the school had at its disposal. What we found was satirical and outdated facts and figures about alcohol. This was a starting point of an extensive, intensive look at the subject.
Do you know any underage drinkers?
Underage drinkers, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck, I'm not drinking anymore. There goes some more shit. Okay, now I'm feeling fine. Continue drinking now.
We needed two people with completely different approaches to alcohol, whose lives we could follow and who wouldn't mind telling about their views. The first was Fahad, a 16-year-old drinker, a heavy drinker.
I think it's alright, and it's socially acceptable for me to drink.
The second was Matti, 17 years old, who doesn't drink but has strong points on his decision. These two were to be the base of our investigation on underage drinking.
Well, being a teenager, it's a part of the developmental years where you want to be part of the group. You want to be included. You want to be approved. You want to be similar to everybody else.
Well, they are drinking because everybody other is drinking, and also because it brings some fun, pleasure. The teenagers are drinking nowadays much more as before, and they have more money to spend to drinking, and also they begin earlier, already at school.
It's smarter not to drink yet when I'm this young, and if I drink, I drink with my friends like after I'm at Kinas in social purposes, but that's a different question than getting drunk.
I realized how beneficial it could be to your enjoyment, and I realized that if you have control over it, and if you're able to responsibly drink and have a nice time, or what you consider to be a good time, then what's the big problem?
And then your friends and classmates, what do they feel about your decision and your opinions?
Well, I guess most of my classmates do drink, but they respect the fact that I don't, and they don't really try to get me to drink, and they just don't really mind, and even if I'm with them while they drink, they just say it's okay, and I just socialize with them in other ways, but I just don't drink.
Well, I usually drink on weekends. Some weekends I don't feel like going out. Other than that, I usually drink every weekend.
Already now, we can see a clear difference between Fahad's and Matti's social behavioral pattern. As Matti has the power of saying no, Fahad simply seems to be more accepting.
I'm not entirely sure how easy it is to get from the store in this country. As I said, I think a lot of the shops will ask for papers. I think if teenagers do manage to get drunk, then they obviously know somebody of age and send them in to get the alcohol for them.
Many investigations have been conducted throughout Europe concerning the difficulty of underage people buying alcohol. We did not look into these, instead decided to perform a very practical test. In Helsinki, I, being 15 years of age, randomly went to 4 different supermarkets, 2 kiosks, and one food stand and tried to buy a bottle of beer from each. The results were even more shocking to us than we expected, as there was only one store which asked for my ID card.
In Finland it's very, very easy to get alcohol, also for young people, because the elder people, they are used to bring younger their alcohol from home. When the teenager drinks too much, they pass out and they can get cold in Finland. They can freeze in the winter time.
Do you think drinking affects academic success or intelligence?
Well, it doesn't affect intelligence at all, like, if you don't drink much, but of course, like, drinking hardly, getting drunk all the time, it's been proven that's like, destroys brain cells, but intelligence, I think that's only like, after you've been a drunkard for 50 years, but that's different. And then school success, probably not if drinking doesn't affect the amount of work you do at school. I mean, it's basically a choice of what you do on your free time.
I don't think it does, no. Because, I mean, I have a lot of friends that drink a lot and get really good grades. Academic success, I would say, is affected by your personality and your study habits and your student habits, how good of a student you are, not how much you drink.
About the school, I don't believe there's affection, because I usually drink on Fridays and then I restrain from drinking on the weekdays, and I don't believe it has any affection towards my school, and this can be seen in my grades and in the activities I take in the school.
If it's a good student, I mean, obviously alcohol does affect your brains, okay, brain cells and everything, so if you do it consistently, drink, of course it does affect your learning as well, it does affect your behavioral patterns and everything, your thought process and so forth. So obviously in the long run it can affect your grades as well, even though if you're a bright student and you've been a bright student all your lower school levels and let's say like 6th, 7th grade and so forth, and then you start drinking, it can really affect.
Most people, including teens, agree that alcohol can have effects on your brain in long term. Though, we wanted to see what were the immediate effects on the ability to process information and logical thinking. We looked through the internet and found a 32-question simple IQ test at testcafe.com and put Fahad to it. The first time he did it was when he hadn't had anything to drink for the last 48 hours. The second time he did it was a week afterwards, the morning after he had been out with his friends and consumed a lot of alcohol. He had a hangover while doing the test. How much did you have to drink last night?
Well, quite a bit. Probably about the usual for Friday.
Okay. And you did the IQ test, how were you feeling in the IQ test?
Well, I got 112, which I guess is alright. I mean, it says here a person whose IQ score falls in the range of 111 to 128 is above average, so I still have my intelligence.
Do you think you can do better if you were...
If I wasn't hungover?
Yeah.
Probably, yes. Because I'd be able to think clearer.
When Fahad did the test the first time without being hungover, he did it in 7 minutes and 30 seconds and got a result of 118. The second time he did it with a hangover, he did it in 10 minutes and 9 seconds, receiving a result of 112. From this we can see that there is a clear difference between the two states of mind. Fahad got a better result in a shorter amount of time when not being hungover.